Robyn is a Swedish pop singer who has been around since like the 90s at this point, and she has been hitting out with some pretty big hits since then, even in the 90s and the 2000s, and even a couple of hits in the 2010s as well. Show Me Love in the 90s, in the 2000s she hit #1 in the UK, which is pretty huge with the song With Every Heartbeat. Tracks like Be Mine were big as well. Dancing on My Own, Call Your Girlfriend. She's one of those names that perhaps isn't like a recognizable major pop star, but she certainly has left her mark on pop music over the years with just so many tracks that have become well known, and perhaps you might not even know the name Robyn, but you will probably know the song. And I can say I've been a fan of nearly every single she's put out. I must say I've always thought of her as like a singles artist, has those legendary pop songs that I'll always enjoy and will always go down well no matter where you play them. But as an albums artist, I can't really say I've ever really loved an album from her. I feel like it's a pretty similar situation with Honey here. It's not necessarily bad. I wouldn't really say it has any major standout highlights, especially in her career, but overall it just ends up being pretty okay, pretty passable. Just was hoping for that major huge album that would, like, you know, change my perception of her music a little bit and make me see her more of an albums artist. But honestly, there's just a few tracks on here that don't really stick the landing at all. I feel like the opening track is just very Robyn by the numbers. The instrumental could easily have fit onto a Body Talk album, which came out in 2010. It's just very glitzy, it's very shiny, it's glittery, I guess. But there's just not really much of a strong hook here. I feel like it just kind of goes on and drags a little bit. It doesn't really have any popping moments. Not to say that I need a hook, but I needed something in this track to kind of stand out in any significant way. And do remember, it is pop music, so you're gonna have to, you know, hit out with a great chorus or something at least, but I feel like it's just missing on this track. I'm not entirely sure what she was aiming for in a track like Human Being. Lyrically here, I can't help but feel this might be one of those basic songs I've heard all year. I'm a human being. Yeah, you are, Robyn. I mean, no one's disputing that, and no one ever would dispute that. What are you... I wouldn't really say lyrically this album has any moments that stand out in any significant way. I suppose there doesn't really need to be any big moments in the lyrical department, because even the track like Because It's in the Music doesn't really have that much of a, you know, a detailed lyrical theme, but actually ends up being one of the best tracks here because it's just got such a great chorus and a great groove. Because it's in the music. She's always had that 80s Madonna-ish feel to her. And it always just works out for the best, you know, that kind of Carly Rae Jepsen throwback type thing. You know, Robyn's just always kept it straightforward, and I think with a track like this, the lyrics aren't too basic like Human Being, but there's at least a good catchy melody here. I do feel like a track like Baby Forgive Me just kind of lacks the versatility in Robyn though. I mean, for this one, it's just a very like sleepy instrumental, very soft, very gentle, and she's just singing over it in a pretty typical way for her, you know. I feel like she copies and pastes a lot of her vocal melodies, sticks to similar themes, what she's singing about, and it just ends up feeling quite so-so, you know. I've heard it already, she's done it better before, what's this track really giving me? I do kind of like the track Center Robyn immediately though. It's got a very slow build. I don't particularly think it climaxes in the best kind of way. It probably could have hit really hard, but for what it is, it's got a nice little dance groove, a very slow building dance groove, but it feels kind of nice to listen to. I do think her vocal performance is always on point, but on this particular track as well, I think she does a pretty good job, even if it is those similar Robyn-isms that she's always carried in her career. I do think the title track is a bit anticlimactic though. I just think, like, I don't know, I just thought it would be this like big staple piece in the album that would have a big moment, and I feel like the track is going for that, but it just never really reaches it. It also has a very similar melody little bit to the track Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. I thought that was a bit odd, maybe a little reference to her there, but I'm not entirely sure. It's the bow, 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 like that little bit. I was just a bit like, hold up here, hold up. Hold up. Perhaps she was aiming for that, like, that classic track with that thing there in the same way, like, Running Up That Hill is, but, you know, it just ends up sounding like very standard dance pop music overall. I don't know, I just don't really feel like Robyn is adding much here, because I think she has made a lot of great pop music in the past. I just expected a bit more of a bite to most of these songs, but it's just missing something. Perhaps it's a lack of bass, maybe these tracks just need like a bit of a driving rhythm to them to keep them going, to keep you feeling like you're moving along with the music rather than being kind of pulled along with it as it goes by. Certainly not bad by any means, but I've just always thought that maybe she could offer something different in the crowd of lackluster pop musicians these days. There's not really a pop star I look to in 2018 and think, yeah, this pop star who's mainstream is the one that's providing something different to everyone else and is providing great music. There's not really anyone out there like that. So I just thought Robyn could be that alternative, and I'm just not really seeing what's all exciting about this album. Especially when it seemed to have come out right out the gate to rave reviews from publications. I've seen a lot of like five star reviews, but I'm just kind of wondering what exactly it is that this album's doing for these people. it's just okay. I feel like Beach 2K20, however, is a bit like of a throwback to the 90s. It certainly feels at times like it is throwing it back to previous decades. Even with the album cover too, I feel like it's just got such like a very classic 90s look to it. I'm not entirely sure why, but I feel like maybe with the music it does feel that way at times too, especially on this track. The album ends off on one of the best tracks here as well, Ever Again. Yeah, just got a great sticky groove to this one. I feel like the melody really hits hard on this track. Unlike a lot of other tracks where I feel like it's a bit too bare, this track really hits the mark, I think. And a little like falsetto on the chorus. Just a nice way to end off the album, considering I was kind of on the whole thing, but it would be wrong of me to say that there aren't highlights on here, because this track is the perfect example of that. So yeah, overall I think it's okay. I'm not really blown away by this, slightly disappointed if I'm being honest, but certainly not bad, and I would probably pick out some of these tracks and go back to and return to in the future, because they are pretty damn good. But overall it's like a 6 out of 10. Nothing too great here, but there are some decent tracks, some okay ones. Yeah, I don't know, just passable, I suppose. Let me know your thoughts if you've heard it. If you like it way more than me. I feel like there are people out there that are going to really, truly adore this one, but it's just kind of blown by me without really leaving much of an impact. So, you know, it's just what I think. Let me know your thoughts, subscribe as well. Have a good day. Have a good day.